Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and I am a gorilla in the wrist. Today we're looking at the San Martin SN029GC. At least that's what it was called when I ordered it. I've seen it with at least two different names. However, you will be able to find this one fairly easily since San Martin refer to it as a retro diver Middle Ages style. Not really sure what that means. Does it come with its own dose of the Black Death? I guess we're about to find out whether or not the world is ready for a medieval diver. So we're going to do a quick run through the specifications for this watch. So the dial width is 41mm, the lug to lug is 49mm, lug width is 22, and it has a thickness of 13.8mm, weighs in around 140 grams, is water resistant 200 meters, has sapphire crystal and the Miyota movement, the 8215 or the 8315, can currently be picked up for around about £175 sterling. So other than the spec, let's have a look at what you're actually getting for your money. What you're getting is a 41mm sturdy, solid dive watch on a brown distressed leather strap. It's got a Submariner-esque type dial layout, but a very matte black looking dial. The sort of standard triangles at the 12. We have just standard battens at 3, 6 and 9, and then circular indices all the way around. There's a minute track around the outside. We have the San Martin logo above the pinion and automatic 200 meters below the pinion, and that's it. There's no day date on this particular one. This is a very simple watch. You're going to see the Loom shot in a minute. The Loom is absolutely fantastic. Very good. It is just a little bit of a shame that there's a bit of a problem with the performance of the strap. However, it is a bit of a strap monster, so the spec shot you would have just seen has it on a nice red strap. It works pretty well with most things, but I do like it on this distressed leather look. So it has a signed San Martin crown with that hexagonal logo. It has drilled lugs and it has a screw down case back. And we have 100 meters of water resistance and a very sterile case back as well. And I see I've left the little transparent label on there. Apologies for that. Quick release spring bars and 22mm lug width. So not an unusual size. I had a few for this, although you will have noticed this strap on my Orient Komatsu, because actually it looks really good on the Orient Komatsu. So I've had to order another one, which I will keep on the Komatsu because that looks really good too. So one of my gripes about this particular watch, I think the first one is probably the movement. So I'm a cheapskate and ended up buying the 8215 Miyota movement. That was probably a mistake. It is the noisiest movement I've ever come across. I'm going to record and give you a brief taste of what it's like to live like. Needless to say, you really don't want to shake your hand vigorously at any particular period whilst you've got this on, because you'll hear it spinning and rotating for the next 15 minutes. My other complaint about this is that the strap wasn't long enough. So I don't know whether that's a fair criticism of San Martin, given I have gorilla-like wrists, but it really just wasn't long enough. I had to punch an extra hole into the end of it, which I did. And then my third complaint really is just the wear on the strap. Bearing in mind, can you guess where I have the buckle done up? I have to say that's a little bit disappointing. It's not a huge problem, if I'm absolutely honest, partly because it's always hidden by the buckle, but secondly, it does kind of add to the distressed look. However, from a QC perspective, I would probably suggest that that isn't ideal. But those are my gorilla gripes. In terms of the things that I think are great about this particular watch, I have to say that I really do like the finishing on it. It's not a surprise. San Martin do this incredibly well, but really good branded, enormous crown, beautiful brush finishing across the sides of the watches, and I really like that bezel edge. It's a nice flat sapphire crystal, but that bezel edge is a little bit unusual, I have to say. In fact, the whole bezel is pretty unusual. It's got a fairly classic Submariner style look to it in terms of the dial layout, which is really nice. But the lack of anything, the very sort of raw look of the bezel, I kind of occasionally referred to it as a nude Submariner, because that's what it looks like to me. This is a Submariner with its bezel taken off. But I really like that. I think it looks really good. And it just feels very, very solid. It is brushed steel. It is 316 stainless steel all the way through. Very simple watch back. It's really nice. It wears really comfortably as well. I know I've had a bit of a whinge about the strap, but actually, leaving aside the problem with having to punch a hole in it, it's very comfortable to wear. It's also incredibly thick, and it has that raw looking edge to it, that sort of raw leather look. So yeah, I really like it. I think it works particularly well. A lot of positive things to be said about this watch. So finally, in summing up, we're going to have a go at answering the question that we started out with, which is the world ready for a Middle Ages style watch? I think I'm probably going to start by saying I think their marketing department got the language slightly incorrect. I know what they're trying to say. I think it has a rawness to it that kind of gives it that sort of retro sense. Genuinely not convinced that it's a Middle Ages style watch. I'm not even convinced that there was much diving going on in the Middle Ages. I could be wrong. I'm sure I am. I'm not a history buff. But yes, I think the world is ready for a Middle Ages watch. And this delivers it really, really well. It's unsurprising from the canon of San Martin watches that they've chosen to do something a little bit different with this one. And I think it comes off. I always give credit for a little bit of originality, and there is a little bit of thought has gone into this. It is the usual strong quality offering that you get from San Martin. It's not a huge amount of money. I think it's an excellent offering. So finally, a thank you to all of those who stuck through to the end. For me, I think I would score this watch as an 8.5, and I would recommend it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the big thumbs up. If you didn't like it, always up for constructive criticism. Let me know what you'd like to see, what you'd like to see done differently. Other than that, just wish you a fantastic Christmas, and we'll hopefully see you all again soon. Take care.